Next.
The U.S. flexes its military muscle in the Persian Gulf as tension between Iraq and the United Nations continues to escalate. NBC News 40 at 11 starts now.
WTWC TV, NBC News 40. This is your news.
The Big Bend is about to experience its first freeze of the season, and it's not even winter yet. Do you know what precautions to take? Will Russia prove to be an ally in the U.S. standoff with Iraq? They've offered to use their influence with Baghdad.
I'm Derek Slapp. Have you experienced the Florida Art Trail? Well, it's brand new, and I'll take you on a tour coming straight up.
Good evening. I'm Teresa Marsenberg. Our top story, it's here, the big chill. For the first time this season, temperatures will dip below freezing. And just to prove how cold it is already, meteorologist Nancy Dignon is downtown in the elements with some cold weather tips. Nancy.
Well, you know, it really is cold. It's me, the cameraman Jeff, the moon, and nobody's walking the streets, interestingly enough. A lot of warm people, though, in the cars, and that's the place to be. In your cars or inside. This is our first blast of Arctic air this season, and we are looking our temperatures to drop into the 20s overnight. Now, since I have been here over the last hour, the temperature, and I have a thermometer to prove it, the temperature has actually fallen by about 3 degrees. So, again, we are seeing some cold weather already taking shape. We're about freezing in the outlying areas in the rural spots. So, cold weather on the way. In fact, it's already here. Let's show you the graphics of what's going on across the viewing area. We're seeing some very chilly temperatures. We do have clear skies outside, so the temperature is falling rather rapidly. Might say the weather isn't all it's quacked up to be. Ha-ha. But, yeah. It's kind of cold outside. The water may not freeze, though, but cold weather tips. Check on the elderly. Make sure that if you have some exposed pipes, there's a slow drip on them, or, in fact, that they are wrapped up. Bring in the plants. Hope you've already done that, because you can just take the plants that are outside, bring them on inside, take a big plastic sheet and cover those that you can't bring inside. Remember to check the car as well. Make sure there's plenty of antifreeze. Batteries are okay. We do have a freeze warning and a wind chill advisory in effect for the viewing area for tonight. We are expecting clear skies, some very cold temperatures, 25 to 29 across the viewing area. Look at the local readings. You can pick out where you are. And as you see, we're going to drop below freezing rather quickly, and I can attest to that. It's cold outside. We'll have more coming up later. Teresa.
All right, Nancy, thank you very much. In Iraq tonight, Saddam Hussein insists he doesn't want war with the U.S. Saddam is letting American weapons inspectors kicked out last week back to continue their work. But Iraq still threatens UN surveillance planes set to take off any time now. Meanwhile, diplomatic talks continue to try and resolve the showdown without bloodshed. Secretary of State Albright hopscotched around the Gulf seeking a hard line against Saddam from the fraying Gulf War coalition. The big question, does Iraq still say it will fire on it?
Well, unfortunately, yes, because, again, there has been no progress in achieving whatever that could satisfy us.
They will be met with a very significant response.
No U-2s have been shot down in over 20 years because it flies so high, it's almost impossible to hit. The aircraft carrier George Washington is due in the Persian Gulf in the next few days. A U.S. senator joined 200 other demonstrators in a protest against Russia today. New York Republican Senator Alphonse D'Amato and several congressmen demonstrated outside New York City's Russian mission. They claim Russia is sharing military information with Iran, a country which the U.S. says promotes terrorism. Protesters want the U.S. to cut off aid to Russia with economic sanctions. The search continues for a West Palm Beach woman whose car was stolen on Friday. One of the suspects in that hijacking, 24-year-old Antonio Spann, is also a suspect in the September shooting death of Reginald Lott here in Tallahassee. Spann is being held on that murder charge and may appear in front of the grand jury as early as Tuesday. Authorities say Spann's wife Folia turned herself in on Thursday evening. She was also wanted in connection to the murder. As for the missing woman, 44-year-old Kazoo Perone, police say Spann and the other suspect in that case aren't talking. The Florida legislature designates Highway 12 in Gadsden County as the North Florida Art Trail. As NBC News 40's Derek Slapp reports, business owners in towns such as Quincy and Havana hope the trail will help consumers find their shops.
75, 300. Tomorrow you wish you had. 3 1/4.
Art has replaced tobacco as the staple of Gadsden County, and if scenes like this don't prove it, then maybe this does, the North Florida Art Trail. Starting in Havana and winding its way along Highway 12 through Quincy, Greensboro, and Chattahoochee, the Florida Art Trail calls attention to an often forgotten part of Florida.
Well, obviously all the antique stores here are great, but the gift shops and Planters Exchange here has done an awful lot with little art stores and photography or galleries and such. And then off towards Quincy, there's a bed and breakfast, as well as just old historical museums. And there's a few restaurants opening up around here that is great to see because we didn't have that for a long time.
The Florida Art Trail is meant to highlight an area rich in history and art, but it will also have another result. It could mean better business for a lot of these antique stores along Highway 12.
Well, we've been looking forward to it, the opening and all, because we hope it would help traffic, because the Planters Exchange portion of it's right across the road from us, and we've been kind of isolated over here on 12 from right downtown.
The art trail is no doubt designed to attract consumers to Gadsden County, and it may work, as it makes it easier for tourists to capture the quaintness. For people who already spend their weekend afternoons here, though, the trail is irrelevant. They've already found what they're looking for. In Gadsden County, Derek Slapp, NBC News 40.
For more information about the North Florida Art Trail, you can call the Gadsden County Chamber of Commerce toll-free at 1-800-627-9231. Well, you didn't have to go to the mall to start your Christmas shopping. You could have hit the North Florida Fairgrounds for the 32nd Annual Market Days Art and Craft Show. It may be a little early to pick your Christmas tree, but you can enjoy the holiday flavors at the Festival of Trees. And in part 2 of our series, Looking for E.T., many don't believe in extraterrestrials despite all the money going into research.
Tallahassee, Thomasville, Valdosta. This is Your News with Teresa Marsenberg, meteorologist Nancy Dignon, and Doug Luciani with sports. You're watching NBC News 40 at 11.
Yo, come on! Yo, come on! Come on over to River Trace Homes in Tallahassee. 13 years in the same location, same ownership, same quality homes, and great service. Yo, come on! River Trace Homes will meet or beat any price on a comparable home and provide a finance program just for you. Low to no down payment. Super low fixed rate. Terms to fit your budget. Yo, come on! Come on over to River Trace Homes on the corner of Capitol Circle Southeast and Woodville Highway, Tallahassee. Yo, come on!
If life on land is tasting a little dry, escape. Come to Red Lobster for oceans of mouth-watering shrimp. Your favorite taste, as fresh as the sea. For a limited time, immerse yourself in shrimp for only $9.99. At Red Lobster, because life on land is dry.
Melanie Hansen on carpet and why she cleans it with Stanley Steamer.
Between the things we do at home and the play groups and school, I need a carpet cleaner that knows our time is just as valuable as theirs.
Some carpet cleaners have you wait all day, but Stanley Steamer schedules arrival times at your convenience. Call them today, they'll clean today. That's same-day service.
Stanley Steamer makes you feel right at home.
Call today about our $79.95 NBC News 40 cleaning special.
Another successful Market Day Arts and Crafts Show is over. The 2-day event featured the talent of nearly 300 artists and craftspeople. Jewelry, ceramics, furniture, and clothing were just some of the items on sale. Market Day rolled around just in time for shoppers to pick up gifts for the holiday season. The show is a big fundraising event of the Tallahassee Museum. Helping Tallahasseans get in the holiday spirit, the grand opening of the Festival of Trees kicked off at the old Walmart building in Cross Creek Plaza on the corner of Appalachian Parkway and Capitol Circle. The festival benefits the Second Harvest Food Bank and includes 50 decorated trees and wreaths, unique nutcrackers and seasonal carols, as well as holiday cookies, muffins, and hot cider. The event runs through November 24th. In movies about life, in outer space. We also see the aliens. Sometimes they're creepy and evil, sometimes friendly and funny. But as Jim Hanchett reports in part 2 of our series, Listening for E.T., we'll probably hear aliens before we see them.
Go to a place cradled in a distant mountain valley, where a radio on scan finds only static, where the nearest town is a whisper. Go to this place. Here, under a telescope big as the moon, here is ground zero in the search for life in outer space.
I joined this project because I realized that they could succeed, and I didn't want to read about it in the paper.
Dr. John Dreyer is a scientist at SETI Institute, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. A search using computers scanning billions and billions of deep space radio frequencies. Computers linked to telescopes, swiveling from star to star, listening for a call from some other civilization.
I've set my goal pretty simple. I just want to find the damn signal.
The project depends on donors, the likes of computer whizzes Hewlett and Packard, Intel's Gordon Moore, and Microsoft's Paul Allen. Congress funded the work for a year. Then one powerful senator griped the money hadn't bagged even one little green fellow. University of Virginia astronomer Robert Roode is a more scientific skeptic. He writes lectures on the subject.
I enjoy the movies, too. The notion of extraterrestrial life is a natural one and a fun thing to think about it.
Roode doubts aliens pack outer space or will bother sending radio signals our way anytime soon.
To find it within a year or even 5 years, to me, would be amazingly lucky.
If you accept that there is life out there, what happens when we find it and they find us?
This kind of tone is what we're looking for.
If they hear it, SETI scientists will contact other observatories for confirmation. Dreyer imagines that moment.
Makes you very nervous. Panic is the appropriate. Instead of sitting here saying, I don't want to blow this.
In rapid order, the president and press will be notified. Experts will be summoned to decode the message. And in this place so distant, in all our places, we will know we're not alone. In Greenbank, West Virginia, I'm Jim Hanchett, NBC News 40.
Nancy Dignon is still out in the cold, but I don't think she's looking for any UFOs. Nancy.
No, you're exactly right. What I'm looking for is heat. You know, when warm, moist air collides with cold, dry air, you get that, smoke rings. A lot of them are going to be all across the viewing area tonight, and you can see the wind blowing in the background. Wind chill advisory has been posted. We may feel as though we're in the upper teens by sunrise.
Mobile service provided by 360 Communications. If you see news happening, call pound 40 on your 360 cellular phone or call 893-WTWC.
Get a home equity loan at FMB and we'll send you on a trip. That's right. Close on your home equity loan and take your choice of 6 great deluxe vacations. 4 days and 3 nights in historic Williamsburg, exciting New Orleans, charming Charleston, the Orlando attractions, Nashville, or Hilton Head Island. Choose where you want to go and what you want to do. You can even take the kids along. So get a home equity loan now at an FMB near you and get out of town. An equal housing lender.
You'll call it your window of opportunity. And there's one thing that's bound to attract a crowd. Festive decorations? Maybe. Pretty lights? Whoa. How about saving money? It's the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event, where you can get low 2.9 APR financing or great cashback savings on a huge selection of Chevy cars and trucks. We call it a great deal on the 98 Chevy of your dreams. So don't forget, make your money count now at your Chevy dealer and save big.
Catch Mike Rucker and Nancy Dignon's Storm Track 40 forecast each night at 6 and 11 on NBC News 40. Or on page 2A every day in your Tallahassee Democrat. Here's what you'll be reading about in tomorrow morning's Tallahassee Democrat.
A week of sports coverage starts with a gator joke. Blood and gore steer young drivers straight. The therapeutic powers of massage.
NBC News 40 continues with Storm Track 40 meteorologist Nancy Dignon.
You know, I wouldn't send a dog out on a night like this, but Doug, Teresa, and I'm going to blame my producer, Ellie, as well. They said a real good meteorologist actually experiences the weather. I can attest to that. I'm experiencing it. It's awfully cold. I'm downtown where it's typically warmer than the rural spots. It's 39 degrees. Yikes. Currently all across the viewing area, we're down to around freezing. At 10 o'clock, 36 degrees at the airport, 82% the relative humidity. The winds have been off and on calm, but then they're picking up about 7 to 10 miles per hour and pressure climbing at 30.38. There were some clouds that scooted on through in the overnight hours, even brought a few sprinkles across the viewing area, but they left rather quickly, and in its wake, a lot of clear skies. That, of course, brought the temperatures down rapidly tonight, but it also brought some sunshine this afternoon, so we did manage temperatures generally in the mid-50s across the viewing area. Some heavier showers down across South Florida early on today. Well, let's see what's going on across the rest of the United States. We'll see what's going on in the solar system, and you might remember that tonight should be a pretty good night for the meteor shower Leonid, and that should be best visible between 1:30 and 5 a.m. in the east-northeastern part of the sky. In the eastern and northeastern parts of the United States, there was some pretty heavy cloud cover, that producing some showers, and actually a few snow showers across the Great Lakes and even as far south as parts of Tennessee. Clear skies in the southeast, no precipitation falling here. The only thing falling is the temperature, and I'm going to fall pretty soon because it's so cold outside. Heavy snows, even a mixture of precipitation. That meant some sleet and some freezing rain. Weather map showing rather well what's going on. We have high pressure now building into the southeast. High pressure normally means pretty dry conditions, but it also means a return flow of air from the north. And that really is what's bringing down the cold air. So we'll put the maps into motion for you. And by 7 o'clock tomorrow night, here's what we're looking at. Arctic air will keep its grip on the eastern half of the country. And temperature-wise, in the morning hours, a cold night on tap for us. All across the eastern United States, we'll see some bitterly cold temperatures. For us, we're going with readings falling into the mid and upper 20s. Chilly weather on tap all across much of the United States. The lowest readings will stay across the northern tier of states. We'll come back, check radar, and your own local cold forecast right after you watch this.
You'll call it your window of opportunity. And there's one thing that's bound to attract a crowd. Festive decorations? Maybe. Pretty lights? Whoa. How about saving money? It's the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event, where you can get low 2.9 APR financing or great cashback savings on a huge selection of Chevy cars and trucks. We call it a great deal on the 98 Chevy of your dreams. So don't forget, make your money count now at your Chevy dealer and save big.
You know, it's really not so bad until the wind kicks in, and then, boy, it feels awfully cold out here. So I just want to complain a little bit because, well, you know, I don't know, cheese and crackers with my wine. On the beach and boating forecast for tomorrow, we'll go with sunny skies, a northeasterly wind running about 13 to 20 knots, seas 3 to 6 feet, choppy for the bays and inlets. Your Storm Track 40 forecast then for tonight. Remember, we do have a freeze warning in effect. I hope you've already made the proper precautions. A wind chill advisory as well. When the winds kick in, the temperatures will feel as though it's in the mid to upper teens, but clear skies, quite cold conditions. We're going to fall to between 20... take to change a light bulb? I went to FSU. Doug went to UF. We'll see, won't we? Meanwhile, you guys are nice and toasty back in the studio, so I'll send it back to you.
I don't know what she's complaining about. I'm perfectly comfortable.
I know, I am too. I don't know, yeah. She's got on a coat. What more can she expect?
Complain.
I know.
When we come back, Florida State turning their focus, as Nancy said, to the big one in the Swamp next Saturday, plus a full slate of NFL action, including the Jags, who are going for 12 straight wins at home.
And we're checking out the skies tonight in anticipation for tonight's annual meteor shower. And you can buy a great telescope and check it out yourself if you win the lottery.
Something special, something new, just for you and your neighbors. A lot of useful information, just for you and your neighbors. When news is breaking or something shaking in your neighborhood, something special, something new, just for you and your neighbors.
I'm Mike Fraser with Tallahassee Camera and Image Center. Over the years, we've observed new film developing competition from mass merchants. So what's the difference between us and them? We use modern equipment, operated by experienced technicians. Prints that need correction for lighting and color are adjusted as needed. Your photos are important to us. We will take the time necessary to produce the best print possible. We can't fill your prescription or sell you groceries, but we can guarantee high-quality, full-service film developing.
3 locations, Appalachia Parkway, North Monroe Street, and the Village Commons.
What did you get today? Mommy, what do we have planned for this evening? Well, the theater, of course. Oh, let's do something more exciting. Like hockey.
Hockey? What a jolly good idea. James, check the...
Troubling the league in Week 12, we find the Giants picking up a big win over the Cards, a couple of powerhouses in Atlanta. the Lions maul Minnesota. The Eagles and Ravens play to a 10-10 tie. The Saints win in overtime. Dallas comes from behind. San Fran and the Jets both picking up W's. In Oakland downs the Chargers. High school football's regular season is over. The playoffs will start on Friday, but there are still several postseason spots available. In particular, the runner-up spot for District 1-4A. Tomorrow night at 7:30 at Tallahassee's Capitol Stadium, Rickard, Shanks, and Wakulla will settle a three-way tie for second. Shanks and Wakulla will play for a quarter. The winner faces Rickards. Winner of that goes on to the playoffs. Speaking of the playoffs, here's a breakdown of who's going where and who's playing who. In 6A, Lincoln travels to Niceville for round 1. In 5A, Leon will hit the road as a district runner-up to face District 1 champion Woodham. Pace will play host to Suwannee. Madison County still waiting to find out who they will play. They get the District 1-4A runner-up. 3A playoff picture looks something like this. Taylor County will host Hamilton County. Florida High hits the road to take on defending 3A champions Union County. Defending 2A champs North Florida Christian opens the postseason with Havana. The Rattlers face Monroe, who are the District 5 2A champs. The Dogs get Weewa. Bluntstown travels to Port St. Joe, and Lafayette will host Baldwin. On the hardwood, the women's teams from Florida State and Florida A&M in action, taking on each other in a crosstown rivalry. The Lady Knowles playing their first game of the season, getting off to a good start when Brooke Wyckoff pulls down the board and then gets the putback. FSU by 2. Wyckoff had 17 on the night. FAMU keeping it close. The nice pass from Crystal Worlds underneath to Chantel Jackson. Count it. More from the Rattlerettes. Aquanda Clark picking up 2 of her 13 points right there as it falls. Florida State, though, down the stretch was too much for A&M. Wendy Hampton finished with 12 points, knocking down the tray. The Knowles get their first win under their new head coach, Sue Simrow, 79-70. NASCAR's Winston Cup season coming to an end this afternoon at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Bobby Labonte won the race, but Jeff Gordon took the Winston Cup point standings. He finished 17th, just good enough. Only had to finish 18th, and he did it. Picked up a nice little check.
All right, thanks a lot, Doug. Predicting a meteor shower's activity is not an exact science, but we'll do the best we can when we return.
Suppose you're good at something, say making people look good. So you start a company and it grows. But then before you know it, you become a part-time accountant and financial manager. Not what I had in mind. Well, Nation's banking service is designed for businesses just like mine. High-speed fund transfers, revolving credit lines, direct deposit to pay my employees. So I can get back to what I'd rather be doing.
My home, it's a reflection of me. And with Sears helping, I don't have to worry.
The pride people take in their homes is like the pride I take in my job.
I feel comfortable Sears will take care of my home and protect my family from bugs.
With our exclusive DuraGuard system, one multi-step treatment inside now protects her home for a full year. Or I'll come back, no charge.
Sears and worry-free, they go together. Bye, Tom. See you next year.
Call Sears for a free home inspection and discover the DuraGuard difference.
Walmart and Zebco together means that we're still in business. We have a job, and not only that, this is family.
If we look back at all the things, everything we've done together, we've brought about 212 jobs back to America.
That makes a difference to a lot of people. It makes me proud to know that we're doing something here that nobody else is doing anywhere else.
That's right, made in America, made in Tulsa, Oklahoma by people of Tulsa.
Where are all these reels going? We just sent them reels.
We've gotten a lot of calls about the meteor shower out. Nancy Dignon says she's not an astronomer, but she's a meteorologist, but she is going to fill us in on this meteor shower, Nancy.
She's usually in outer space, so it's different.
Thanks a lot, Doug. Love you. You know, to the best of my ability, I'll tell you that with the moon beginning to wane, it's not raining, but it's waning. There's too much light coming, but if you look in the east-northeastern part of the sky, overnight tonight, between 1:30 and 5 a.m., that should be the best time to see the Leonid meteor showers. So good luck and stay warm.
All right, thanks a lot, Nancy. Well, that's your news for tonight. For Doug, Nancy, and all of us at NBC News 40, I'm Teresa Marcinburg. Be sure to join Tran Bowie tomorrow morning with news updates beginning at 6:55. Until then, have a great week.
Hi, I'm Dave Byler of Bodybuilders Paint and Body Shop. I could stand here and tell you about our outstanding service, but I've always thought a satisfied customer would be a better spokesperson.
I've been a customer of Bodybuilders for 3 different occasions, and they've given me fast, efficient, accurate service.
I would recommend Bodybuilders to anyone who's looking for a quality job on their car.
The next time you need auto body repair, call Bodybuilders Paint and Body, and you may be in our next commercial.